What is up, people of the internet and beyond? I am the Ninjanik333. We are coming with, I believe this is round 7 now, of the Arlington Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships stream, where I'm doing my own commentary because I'm probably not the best, but at least I'm better than Pokemon. So, we are here, it looks like, with Alex Kreckler. I recognize that name. I'm pretty sure he's a pretty good player. He is, it looks like, on a Vikavolt Palkia deck that has been running around recently. As I mentioned a little bit in the in some of the previous videos, I did go to a Winnabox recently. The thing that won it was that deck. So it's, I mean, it went undefeated. Like, it won every single round. It didn't even ID into cut. It was crazy. But anyway, it looks like that is against, it looks like a Mew VMAX deck. Most likely the Fusion Strikeless version, as opposed to the previous round where we saw the Fusion Strike version. Because we see the Path to the Peak Double Turbo and Judge. But we also see here the Heroes Medal is prized. Some of them play this as a one-of. It reduces your Pokemon's HP by 100, but also reduces its prize giving count by 1 as well. So it makes Mew VMAX a 2-prizer. So it's a very interesting inclusion. I personally would not use it, but it is very interesting. So that is played by Alex Cole. So we are here, round 7. How you guys doing today? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Do not forget to subscribe to the Ninjanik333 for more videos like this in the future. I'm going through every single round of this tournament. The tournament hasn't even finished as of me starting to record these rounds, so I always love to watch it afterwards so I can skip all the fluff in the middle, and I hope that you guys enjoy that as well. You can just click on a round that you're interested in and just watch that game play out with some cool Glitch X City music in the background. So, looks like Mew won the coin flip, which is funny to say because there also is a Mew active for Alex Kreckler. Since both of these players are named Alex, we're going to be exclusively using their last names from here on out. Only just realized that. So, Pokemon on these streams like to only show winning in matches once you get to this stage of the tournament. So they are both 5-0-1. So whoever wins this match does make it to day 2 guaranteed, no matter what the rest of their records are for the day. So we see Ultra Ball getting rid of Escape Rope Power Tablet. Escape Rope is a bit of an interesting inclusion in the Fusion Strikeless version. Not a lot of people play that. I believe it's usually just 1 switch and 4 cross switcher. But yeah, we're seeing that come down. We're seeing the Genesect use its Fusion Strike system to draw up to 4 cards. Cramomatic discarding yet another Escape Rope. Maybe he is playing the Fusion Strike version. Who knows? But or he just likes switching options over cross switcher. That could be it too. Drawing more cards. Not quite that great of a hand. We do see the Volo, which is a very interesting tech inclusion. I know my buddy Ian Robb played that at one tournament when Volo was first printed. It allows you to just discard one of your bench V Pokemon. So if you're against something like Lost Box and your Mew takes a whole bunch of damage, you can just go ahead and discard it. Or your Genesect, just go ahead and discard it. Swings that matchup heavily back in your favor. As we can see for Kreckler here, we're going to start with the Battle VIP Pass, probably the best card to start with in the entirety of the game, no matter what deck you're playing in it. He's looking through, checking prize counts, seeing what he has access to or not. Looks like he's going to get Raikou V and Drapion. So, pretty scary for Cole to see the Drapion just come out of nowhere like that, turn 1. Usually you want to conserve the Drapion for late game. You want to take your last 3 prizes with it. On the last Mew VMAX, you usually want to knock out the first Mew VMAX and then pull out the Drapion out of nowhere. That's the correct way to play Drapion. because if you use it too early, Mew can always just put in Lost City and Lost Zone it or something like that. Looks like we are seeing the Speed Lightning energy to draw 2, and then the Mew's Mysterious Tail ability to search the top 6 decks for the top 6 cards of the deck for an item card. Very important to note, the rules of the game are changing slightly going into Scarlet and Violet, and Pokemon Tool cards will no longer be items. They will be their own classification, Tool. So it will be Item, Supporter, Stadium, and Tool. So Mew will no longer be able to search Tool cards at that time. So just everybody remember that, because all of your previously printed tools will say item on that, and they will be effectively errated to no longer be items. We're seeing a Quick Ball here that was grabbed off of it, discarding another Mew. And I believe he's also thinking about doing another Ultra Ball at the same time here. So yeah, so we're doing Quick Ball and Ultra Ball at the same time, discarding a Cross Switcher. That's very important to note. You usually want to conserve your Cross Switchers because you have to play them in pairs. There are decks that play just 2 Cross Switcher. I have no idea what the Vikavolt Palkia deck actually looks like, personally, so. And I call it Vikavolt Palkia, and I don't even know how heavy the Palkia line is, or if they all play Palkia in them at all, or if it's just like sometimes Melanie. So we see Ditto V come down and Crobat V. The Ditto V is very interesting. It can transform to any Pokemon V in your discard pile. So that's pretty cool. We see Energy Search for a Water Energy. It would be nice to play Capacious Bucket, but unfortunately that can't search your basic Lightning. So that is why they decided to play Energy Search instead. Unfortunately, Cole's first turn was a little suboptimal, as he didn't get 6 Pokemon into play. He's not able to draw past 4 cards. But looks like Kreckler's doing pretty well. He even has Archeops V-Star in that deck. I can't even begin to tell you what that card does. But one of my friends was considering playing it the other day too. Benches the Zapdos that allows his Lightning-type Pokemon to do 10 more damage. So it's very interesting. He's filling his whole bench. So right now, let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. So he's doing like 200 with Raikou right now. So that's enough to one-shot anything. The only problem is he needs to like Melanie to charge it up in 1 turn. But he's just going to go in with the Drapion as the first attacker. I think that's perfectly fine, especially if Cole can't get the Lost City to Lost Zone it, because I feel like a deck like Kreckler's would probably play a Pokemon recovery item like Ordinary Rod or the like. So looks like we're just going to see a Judge from Cole. His hand clearly was not very good, so he's hoping to get some more action out of this new hand with the Judge. Kreckler also had a pretty hot start, so limiting his options for the next turn is always very good as well. I personally like the Heart Gold Soul Silver art for Judge. That's my favorite. If a card is available in a Heart Gold Soul Silver art, I will buy the uncommon prints of that every time. I love the Heart Gold Soul Silver so much. That was my favorite game. And looks like his hand was still dead because he just scoops from there. Drapion was just enough. In Toronto, I did play, I played Lost Box, but I did play against a Mew deck, and unfortunately, my best play both games was to just Drapion turn 1 both games, and that won me the game both times. The first game, he only got 1 Mew into play, so I just knocked that out with the Drapion out of nowhere after getting like 4 cards in the Lost Zone. And then game 2, my hand was just completely dead, but I had a Quick Ball, and like I think it was like an Energy to Retreat. So I was able to knock out a Mew there, and yeah, that was enough to just do it for him. So Drapion can just put in work, but you do usually just want to conserve it for late game. So not a very happy matchup for Cole currently. Looks like he's also doing a mulligan as well. So Kreckler is probably very happy in this match so far. He won game 1. He won game 1 very quickly. And he's getting an extra draw. So, yeah. His prize cards don't look too bad. The only thing is the Radiant Greninja in there is a little sad. Because you always love that for a consistency option. It also helps you get the water energies in the discard pile for the Melanie. But yeah, Vikavolt is really powerful. I didn't really talk about its attack. So we know he's playing the Vikavolt. Its attack does 50, and then it also item locks your opponent, so they can't play any item cards. Which also, going into the next format, is going to be great because it will that kind of effect will no longer lock tool cards. So it's a very interesting change to see. So I think that might help fix Expanded a little bit too, because there are things like Vileplume that can just item lock both players. But if you put a tool card on your Garbotox and Garbodor, you can shut off that ability, and then all of a sudden you have items again. So that's pretty awesome that you'll be able to have interactions like that now. So I think the tool card change might actually be pretty good. We see the Quick Ball getting rid of a boss's orders. That's probably fine to get a Mew. Looks like Kreckler started the Drapion, which is like Cole's worst nightmare. I'm sure Kreckler probably only plays one Drapion. Again, I have no idea what the deck looks like. So maybe it's playing 2. I doubt it. Probably only needs 1. We're seeing another, looks like an Ultra Ball next, discarding a Judge and whatever else. Deciding what he wants to get. He still has 2 cards in hand. It looks like one of them might be an Ultra Ball. So even if he can only draw 1 off of this next Genesect, if that is an Ultra Ball, that'll put him at 3 cards in hand. You can discard 2 for that Ultra Ball, get like another Genesect or a Mew or something else, and be able to draw a whole fresh hand of, unfortunately, 4 cards. So... Oh, it's Oricorio as well. And he draws double Battle VIP Pass. So, yeah. Each Battle VIP Pass is going to search 1 Pokemon now. You can see Kreckler just, like, looks at the crowd. He's like, really? Like, really? Also, I noticed Cole's playing a ton of Reverse Hollow Trainers. And I hate Reverse Hollow Trainers. Personally. I mean, if they're your thing, they're your thing. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Reverse Hollows overall. I think the Lost Zone stuff looks pretty cool in Reverse Hollow, like the Cramorant, because it has that, like, Lost Zone swirl on it. Makes it pretty cool. We see a second Fusion Strike system, draws yet another Battle VIP Pass, which is now useless. But it's fine. He can just discard it next turn with that Ultra Ball he's holding on to. He gets the Forest Seal Stone. So he is in consistency heaven right now. But yeah, it looks like he's just going to do the Ultra Ball now. He's going to fail it. I'm not sure if I would have done that. I think I would have just held off and just, like, drew, like, 1 card or whatever off the Genesect and just passed. Because what if you get, like, Marnieter Judge, then that's 1 less option to get into your Mew, you know? Your Mew VMAX. So he's looking at his hand. He does have a Mew VMAX in there. And then he plays Path. So that does shut off the Drapion. So that was what he was digging for there. So never mind. The Ultra Ball was correct. He definitely wanted to get that Path into play so that he could shut off that Drapion. So Kreckler is now going to need to get like a Lost Vacuum or a Replacement Stadium in order to get rid of that Path so that he has a way to attack with this Drapion. Or he needs to get something else powered up. He could always power up a Raikou with a Melanie and like a Lightning Energy or a Speed Lightning Energy. So we're going to see what he Battle VIP passes for. Both players playing the Battle VIP pass engine. Looks like he's going to go for Mew and Raikou. He's got triple scoop up net right now. Quick balling away one of them. Or was it 4? Holy crap. There was just a lot of choice. There was a lot of scoop up nets in there either way. Considering what he wants to get. So that Zapdos is important. Doing an extra 10 damage with your lightning Pokemon, that can make it easier to knock out, you know, Mew VMAX, because, you know, it's got 310, not just 300 or whatever. It's very important against Lost Box, because the 50 normally, after weakness, does not one-shot a Cramorant with the Vikavolt, but 60 doubled is 120 instead, and that is more than enough to knock out a Cramorant. Looks like we're going for the Heavy Ball. He chooses not to get the Greninja, which is odd to me, valuing the Zigzagoon over the Greninja. But the Greninja does go low in his prize card, so if he does need it, it'll be fine. The Marnie does come out. Who would have thought? And now you have a Mew deck that has a active Genesect with a Path to the Peak in play. So now he's going to have to out his own Path to the Peak. Oh, but he does draw the Lost Vacuum, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, but Kreckler gets rid of it with his own Lost Vacuum. So, yeah. Is that not a knockout? I thought Drapion one-shot Genesect. I thought it did 190. Oh, no, the Oricorio's in play. My bad. Yeah, the Oricorio's in play, so he does not take the knockout. So that's actually pretty bad for Kreckler, that Cole was able to get that Oricorio down turn 1. And he's playing a second Forest Sealstone, just to draw more cards, I suppose. That's perfectly fine. Since he doesn't have to... If he had to out his own path, I would have used the Lost Vacuum and Lost Zoned the Forest Sealstone in that case. But since Kreckler outed it for you, I mean, now you got the chance to draw your cards. Since Kreckler does have the Greninja in his deck as well, that is a potential option in order to be able to snipe damage to that bench Genesect as well. So we'll have to see if that comes up. At this point, it's looking like he doesn't play Palkia in the list, so it being just a straight like lightning deck that has the option of Melanie makes it so it's unlikely he'll be able to attack with a Greninja unless he like hard attaches it to 3 times, because Melanie can only accelerate to a he has to read the Hero's Medal. It can only accelerate to a Pokemon V. So the Hero's Medal is on. Mew VMAX is now 210 HP, but it's also 2 prize cards instead of 3. So very interesting inclusion. He's probably digging for a Lost City if he has it. That way he can Lost Zone that Drapion, make sure that it doesn't come back into play. But he just has the path, and that's fine. He knocks it out. And makes sure that, like, fleet-footed on the Raikou doesn't draw extra cards. If Kreckler's playing Crobat or Luminion, he can't use those either. Looks like Mew searches the top 6 for an item card and gets the trekking shoes. He's definitely digging for something. Probably just an out to get more Pokemon on the bench. He's doing like 160 or something right now. I can't remember if Raikou, Suicune, and Entei count the active Pokemon or not. And looks like he just scoops this game. Yeah, Kreckler's like, there is no way I can win from a start like that, so we are just going to go on to the next game. I think if he was able to take the knockout on that Genesect that first turn, or if he was able to like use some sort of gusting effect to bring up a Mew and knock that out, then he wouldn't have scooped so early. But at this point, you can see that he is just in such a awful position that that he would rather just scoop it up and go to game 3. And they have 32 minutes left to play game 3. So that is perfectly fine. So let me see if there's a way I can speed this up, go ahead like a minute or so, and we're loading. Come on, Pokemon. Alright. So these are our prize cards for our players. Doesn't look too bad for either player, honestly. Nothing too important to note. By the time Cole's going to want to play the Silene, he'll likely draw it anyway, so. And we see a opening battle VIP pass from Kreckler yet again. I think that it looks like this time he's going to opt for the Greninja, and I think maybe the Drapion again as well. Really heavily using the Drapion in the Mew matchup is kind of surprising to see, especially since I don't see an additional, or although he can always Ditto back into the Drapion. I think that's the idea. So you go heavy Drapion and you Ditto back into the Drapion. I see. So the Hero's Medal from Cole actually will like kind of screw with the math a bit. So that's pretty cool. We are going to Concealed Cards to draw 2, getting rid of the Water Energy so we can Melanie it after. The Raikou gets its Lightning Energy. Mew comes down. There are a lot of Ultra Balls in his hand. He just decides to pass from here. In case he gets Marnied, he can conserve those Ultra Balls. That's all he really needs to do anyway. Did he use Fleet-Footed? I didn't notice if he used Fleet-Footed from the Raikou. He must have. Looks like Cole's having a very interesting Ultra Ball decision. Looks like he's Ultra Balling away a Mew VMAX and a Double Turbo. That is very far from ideal. I mean, his hand just must be that way that he has to do that. He can always force Seal Stone, use the Star Alchemy ability of that tool card to search for a Battle VIP pass. So I'm not sure if Ultra Balling away those important resources this early is worth it. Especially since you want to kind of keep your bench low because of the Raikou right now. You might want to just get the Oricorio down and then yeah, I think you just might want to get the Oricorio down and like retreat into it to like try to force Kreckler to taking a single prize knockout. He put the Hero's Medal down on the Mew, which is not doing anything right now because it is not a VMAX yet. If it was PTCGO, it would have a big red X over it. I hate PTCGO, but it's so much better than live. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get that Oricorio. I'm going to be curious to see if he does decide to retreat into it or not. Force Kreckler to have a way to gust a Mew up. He'd want to take out the one with the Hero's Medal first, because he's already taking 2 prizes on it, whether it's a V or a V Max, so he'll want to do it when it's a V instead of the V Max, to like still get the most value out of his Pokemon, you know what I mean? So he's Cole's contemplating if he wants to put down this Mew V, if the damage is going to matter. He's deciding to draw, looks like 2 cards with the Genesect first. Yeah, he wants to make sure that damage cap is as low as possible. So he is going to cram Tails, as always. Cram's always a Tails for me. He does decide now to put the Mew V down. And Path and Pass. He only has 1 card in hand. Oh, this is not good. Oh, but the Path just gets immediately bumped anyway. So I'd say Kreckler is favored here at this point, but he asks how many cards in hand and he knows 1. Training Court, Concealed Cards. He gets Speed Lightning, so he can power up this Raikou. If it doesn't count the actives, he needs one more bench and immediately puts the Ditto down anyway. And we get Melanie attaching to the Ditto. So when Ditto transforms into one of your benched Pokemon, all the damage and attaches and all of the effects that are on it and turns in play and everything stay the same. So it's as if it's the same Pokemon. So it'll be able to keep that water energy for if it has to transform into something like a Raikou or a Vikavolt. Looks like he's deciding if he wants to Ultra Ball away his Ultra Balls, because he has 3 of those in hand. He has 2 Cross Switcher. I mean, he could always Cross Switcher, put up the Mew, and then use the Mew's ability to get another item card. Let's see. He already used the Melanie. He's using the Fleet-Footed now. He has Vikavolt now in hand. He's considering whether or not he wants to bench it, I believe. Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it. Make his damage numbers as high as possible and just take the knockout with Raikou. So, Cole has a 2-card hand, a 2-card unplayable hand, but at least he has the ability of the Genesect now. He's getting rid of his own Hero's Medal just to draw extra cards because he knows he needs to. I would not have done that, honestly. I would have... Well, I don't know. It's weird. You want the extra HP on the Mew VMAX, but you also want to take less prizes. So it's like, why are you playing that card if you want to Lost Blower it? You already used your V-Star power, so you could have Lost Blowered your own Forest Sealstone instead, and I feel like that would have been better, just to get those cards out of your hand. Looks like he has used both his Genesects, and he has not found a way into another Genesect, or a way into the Mew VMAX. So, looks like he's bricking a bit right here. He's gonna boss up the Vikavolt just because it's got the highest retreat cost of all of his opponent's Pokemon. And I think that's why Kreckler was deciding whether or not he wanted to retreat into it or not, or he wanted to bench it or not. Now Cole retreats into the Genesect V, because he has no out to the Mew VMAX. He can't knock anything out, so he's just gonna probably pass from here, I would believe. Yep, and he does. Now Kreckler can just attach and Melanie again, although the water energy that was in his discard is now on his Ditto, so might not necessarily be the best option, but he has a large hand and he's about to Speed Lightning onto something, so I think there's a judge call right now. Yeah, the judges are trying to clarify something. I think everything's good. I didn't notice any misplays. Actually, the stream has been very clean so far. For all the games, I haven't noticed anything bad whatsoever. Unless I'm just stupid. Which is entirely possible. He's using Trekking Shoes, gets rid of a Scoop Up Net. You don't really need that. Feels pretty counterintuitive to be playing that in your deck when the only thing you can really scoop up is the Mew and the Greninja. Your main attackers are all Pokemon V. Looks like he plays the Forest Sealstone as well, which is pretty interesting. He gets the double Cross Switcher to bring up the Mew, and he is going to blow it up with a Raikou. Goes down to 2 prize cards. Cole still has not seen a single Mew VMAX or way to get to it. He can bench his Mew V. He can remove his own path again. Attach, and now he can draw 5 cards again. And still no out to the Mew VMAX. My lord. So even if he gets the Mew VMAX, he has to get yet another path into play because that Drapion is just staring him down. So I believe this is like, as I've said before, there are checkmate situations. I believe this is at the very least check. Yeah, so he's getting rid of his opponent's Forest Sealstone that hasn't been used yet. He's got a Power Tablet, retreat, and switch. Or he's just switching right now. He hasn't retreated yet, I believe. And he's going to draw some extra cards. He gets another Genesect, and now he's going to Roxanne. That's actually really good. So if he can get the Mew VMAX and the Path into play, he's actually back to looking like he'll be in a good spot. Because then he can remove the Raikou from play. And then, like, what's the Drapion going to do if Path's in play? Even the Vikavolt V can't even do anything either. So, Cole's drawing 6 cards, Kreckler draws 2, because Kreckler is at 3 or less prize cards remaining. The Cram hits the heads, so he's going to be able to get that, Oh, he conceded! Cole conceded to Kreckler. I'm not quite sure why he conceded there. But, I think he realized he was too far behind. Yeah, I'm a little interested to see why exactly he scooped. Like, normally I'm all a fan for scooping early. Did they call time? They couldn't have called time. I think maybe he just still didn't see an out to Mew VMAX. Yeah, so he's going to draw 6 cards here. So he's got double Cram. Triple Cram. So he hits heads, looks at his deck. Oh, and does he see there's no VMAX in there? Okay, I think that's what happened. I think he noticed that there were no Mew VMAX in his deck. So did he prize them? That's very interesting. Oh, let's go back and check. I think he did. Did he discard one early? Well, that was, I'm not sure why he didn't have any Mews in deck. But either way, if you notice you have no Mew VMAX in deck, that's why you would lose that game. So, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed, so you can see all of the other matches from the Arlington Regionals as I commentate them slightly better than Pokemon. And make sure you're following my Twitch if you're not following my Twitch, because I live stream there every once in a while doing cool PTCGO stuff, Pokemon, Scarlet Violet stuff. The other socials too. I got a Facebook where I post if I'm live. I got a Twitter where I post where I'm live, even though Elon Musk says I'm not allowed to anymore. And then my TikTok has been blowing up because I keep posting glitches from Scarlet and Violet, and it's really funny. So make sure you look at my TikTok too, so that's fun. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one for, I believe, round 8 coming up now.